And welcome to Sunday morning here in Brisbane. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Hope you're staying COVID safe wherever you are, and welcome to another edition of Warp Drive. jon-nic is not with us as yet, but hopefully he will join shortly, and then you'll obviously get the benefit of hearing both of us talk about the stuff we're going to cover today. But what I'm actually doing today is going to finish this livery off, and I thought I'd do it during the broadcast because it's not very often that I actually do that. I normally will have completed liveries and we'll talk about them, or we'll show them, or we'll race them, but today I thought I would finish it off. And as you can see, this side appears to be complete. I may do one or two more things to it, but definitely this side is not. And for those people not watching any previous broadcasts of Warp Drive or any of my other broadcasts, what I generally do when I'm doing a livery design is I will do one side, I'll do the bonnet, I'll do the roof, I may even do the back, and then, provided I'm happy with it, I will then duplicate it to complete the livery. And I know there's lots of people out there that don't do a lot of livery design, and I know there's people that are giving it a go for the first time. So I'll try to give you some explanations as to anything that I've done using the livery editor along the way. So as I said, I've created the livery on this side, and I've gone with Bacardi Rum as the main, I guess, sponsor, I should say. And I hadn't done one before, and I can see that John is just joining the party now, so welcome, mate.
G'day.
Just kicked off the broadcast, so your timing is impeccable. And what we're doing today, John, is firstly I'm going to complete this livery, which I know you can't see, but it's the Bacardi livery that I think I shot and sent you a pic of yesterday, or to one of our groups anyway. Anyway, I'm going to get that finished, and then we might just show some liveries and talk about other stuff, or we might jump in a room, or who knows what we'll do. As usual, we're playing it by ear, totally unrehearsed, totally off the cuff, and so guaranteed for some interesting moments. So this Bacardi livery, as I just said, I hadn't done a Bacardi livery before, so I thought I'd have a go at it. One of the challenges, I guess, with decals when you're picking them is it's always a bit more difficult if the actual decal is a combination of a logo or a symbol and text, because straight away you have some challenges around the size of the text, its relationship or relativity to the decal itself, or the brand, or the logo, or the image, in this case the bat. And so obviously you're working with a finite surface on a car, and so it's always a bit tricky trying to get that right. And so you can see it's quite a small decal, and the only way I could have really made it bigger would have been to stretch it out on a perfect horizontal axis, but I've gone with an angled axis, and I've just had to work with it. But anyway, so I'm going to start duplicating, and it's really simple. It's kind of like painting by numbers, where I'll just go to the bottom of the decal list. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the decal list, it's this list here over the right. You can see the mouse moving up and down, and that's the decal list. They're all numbered, so decal 1, decal 2, etc. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it. That's all I'm doing. So I select the decal, select the layer controls, cruise over to duplicate, hit the button, and it duplicates it. Now if I want to duplicate it on the other side, which is what I actually want to do, I do the same thing again, except this time I select duplicate on reverse, or I can choose horizontal duplicate. Now that's important to know, because sometimes you can't do a horizontal and duplicate, for example words or letters, because they'll actually be reversed on the other side. So for this particular decal, it's just a shape, so I can hit that there, and then magically there it is. So I'm just going to keep doing that process. And while I'm doing that, John, how's your morning been?
Yeah, not bad. I'm just eating some breakfast at the moment, so you can probably hear me crunching in the background.
Excellent. And John's on a bit of a health kick at the moment. What are you eating this morning, mate?
Tim Tams.
See, folks, totally unrehearsed, like we said.
No, that's That's not true. I had having some toast, but I had some leftover ham and cheese in the fridge. I thought I'd just have a toast sandwich.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you're talking my language.
The can will come out soon.
Talking my language there. I haven't had breakfast yet, but I had a bit of a... I haven't had much sleep, actually. I had a bit of a movie marathon last night, even though I felt tired when we got off last night. I ended up watching 2 of the Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh, Jesus.
And that took me through to about 4... I did fall asleep, I think, for maybe about 2 hours or an hour and a half. Yeah, then I woke up, and then because the Netflix was still on, I actually ended up watching a movie called Hitch with Will Smith in it. Mm-hmm. And here I am now. So if I start to yawn, people, that'll be why. Anyway.
I remember seeing that at the movies, actually.
Ah, okay. I tried to watch it several times, and every time I never got around to finishing it. Whether I fell asleep or I had to stop watching because I had to do something else, I don't know. Okay, so you're having your breakfast. What are you doing by way of in-game at the moment? Are you doing a livery? You checking out rooms?
I'm just entering a car show, apparently.
Uh-huh.
So, but
right.
the signal is quite weak, so...
Is it?
Like
okay. Well, I'll try to get this finished as quick as I can. If it looks like I'm not going to get it finished as quickly, then we'll probably save it and join you in the car show, and we can have a bit of car show action.
No, session timed out.
Oh, that's not good. Was there anybody in the room that we knew?
I didn't even look, to be honest.
Uh-huh. So yeah, we go into lots of car shows. People who've watched previous broadcasts know that. Don't need to duplicate that because it's already there. And it's just a chance to show off your liveries, and it's also it's kind of relaxing too, in that you don't have to be on your game, so to speak, in terms of racing or setup. You can just chill out and jump in your car and drive it out, park it, have a look at other people's liveries. We do tend to, well, I probably do the bitching more than John. He seems to be quite patient and quite tolerant, but I kind of get the shits with bad judging or with people that enter with downloads. For those of you who don't know what a download is, it's instead of you're one of our mates. Oops, there you go. See, that's what I talked about, duplicate, and I just did it the wrong way around. You can see the Bacardi is backwards, so now I need to flip that, and it didn't. Which did I? Oh, okay, I did the Bacardi earlier, did I? Not paying attention. Better go back and fix that. That one there it'll be. Let's try and fix that. Flip horizontally, and that should fix it. There you go. Now I've got to remember where I was up to. I was up to the TechWise logo. What was I saying? Yeah, so a download is basically somebody grabbing somebody else's download, which is perfectly fine. You know, we share our liveries so that people can download them. So, but coming into a car show and no, don't need to do that. And bringing out somebody else's livery and effectively trying to take the credit for it is something that we, not just ourselves, but most livery creators in the game really object to. It's an interesting conundrum where the people that don't make their own liveries think it's perfectly fine to come into a car show with somebody else's livery and sit there and say thanks very much when they're told beautiful livery. I've never understood it myself. John, how do you reconcile that sort of mindset? I can't.
No, not really. My thoughts with it is that it's kind of like it's kind of like going to a wedding when you're not the bride, but you still wear a variation of a wedding dress.
Yes, that's a very good analogy, actually.
So,
yeah, I want to be the bride. I want to be the bride.
Yeah.
No, it's a really good one.
Downloading and sharing liveries, and like you said, we've shared over 1,000 collectively.
Yeah.
So, you know, we want ours to be out there as well. But I find it rather odd that people will put them on their car and then take the credit for when they say it's a nice livery. Whether I intend to do it that way or not, I don't know. The fact that the way I see it is, someone's put in the effort to put in that livery.
Yeah.
Put in the time and the effort to make it.
Yeah.
So whether they meant that the livery itself as just a livery is really nice, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way we see it.
Yeah, I think for me it's, you know,
I think because we put in the effort for our own liveries, we see it that way.
Yeah, and it's really interesting that most people that we know that do create their own liveries have the exact same view as us, and that is that, you know, people that enter car shows with downloaded liveries makes no sense. And, you know, we've talked about this a few times, so I don't want to harp on it too much, but the reality is, if you're bringing a downloaded livery into the car show, the reality is we can all go and look at that anytime we want. We just go to the Discover section and we have a look. So it's quite bizarre that people do. I mean, I get they want to come into a car show because they want to see what it's like, but you know, there's lots of people that do it over and over and over again using other people's liveries, and that we just don't get. But anyway, that's the way it is. Any luck getting back into that car show, or have you totally abandoned it?
No, I abandoned it.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so I'm nearly finished duplicating. Well, actually I have finished duplicating, but what I'm doing now is I'm just adding some last decals, and again, doing this is, you know, it's just kind of like, am I happy with the livery? Do I want to put something on for the sake of it, or is there something else that I think I'd like to have on the livery to complement the rest of it? And, you know, again, these are one of the things, you know, John will tell you, as he often says, that he's sitting there with a car in front of him thinking about what he's going to make on the livery. And, you know, often you might be fine and you can start straight away, but you'll get to a point when you're looking at your livery and your design and you're sitting there going, what next? What next? What do I want to put next on this livery? And, yeah, it's quite a normal thing to have happen. And so again, when I do my liveries, I often find myself thinking the same thing and thinking, alright, what am I going to put there? What will look good? What will suit the livery? What's in, if you like, in sync with what you're trying to create. Well, rather than me sit here talk about this livery and John sitting there not really doing much, what we might do is we might save this livery, but you can see, if I just stop spinning around the car so fast, you can see what was on this side is now on that side, albeit that I didn't copy that last decal across, but I will now. And then I'll save it, and then I can come back to it and finish it later, rather than have you sitting there watching a very boring broadcast of me trying to work out which decals I want to put on. I don't know if there's anything that I want to say about this livery. I guess we should probably quickly talk about the index around creating liveries, and to get John's view of that, what I'll do is I'll do a quick snap. Now this may cause the broadcast to go into blue mode. If it does, I apologise. It'll only be for a few seconds while I jump out and send this to John. And then I'll go back to the normal screen. So apologies folks for that 25 odd seconds of no visuals. So in terms of the design itself, this car principally is a very, very easy car to do a livery on. You can see that most of the surfaces are relatively flat. There's not a lot of air ducting. There's a scoop there, but apart from that, it's not around. There's some little rear scoops at the back there, which I haven't got to yet. And the front air dam is a little bit complex in terms of the design. But other than that, it's fairly simple car to work on. So it's definitely a beginner or entry level car. In terms of the design techniques, again, there's nothing really tricky that I've done here for the most part. The side is just angled, so obviously you just need to keep your alignments correct. There's a bit of some paint fade going on here, or color transition, using some of the fade decals. And just notice there's a bit of an edge up the top there that's not perfect, but I'll fix that before I finish it. But again, that's not really tricky, it's just on an angle, and so it's just a case of aligning it to the rest of the decals that are there. This part here around the bonnet is a bit trickier, where I've effectively run the decal colours and shapes off the bonnet, and the bonnet is one section and then the body is another, but I've effectively had to join all those, and there's an angle there, and then I've had to run them back into the car up there. So, you know, that's probably the trickiest thing. And then the continuation of these lines here on the bonnet, where the bat wings are. Again, it's just a little bit of technique, which is a little bit finicky. But other than that, it's not really a complicated livery. I would say it's, you know, at the top of the beginner to the intermediate sort of category, but certainly only just into intermediate. So, you know, as a score, that's really only going to be about a 4 out of 10 for anybody thinking about doing a livery similar to this. I don't know if you've got any comments, John, on it from what you've seen.
The BMWs in Group 4 range are actually quite a good starting point. There's a lot you can do with it. It's pretty much straight off the bat.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much the same with all the Group 4 cars, really.
Yeah, the Group 4s tend to be pretty simple. Maybe the Dodges or the Corvettes or the Porsches maybe a little bit trickier because of scoops and things, but generally speaking.
But even then, it's extremely tricky.
Yeah.
It's just more fiddly.
Yeah, so let's save that. And while it saves, it takes a little bit because you've also got to upload it into the PlayStation Network to keep it for you so you don't lose it. And that'll take a bit of time, and then we might have a look and see what's happening in the rooms. See if we can find a car show, or if not, we might even make our own, or we might even just, I don't know, do some laps or find a cruise room even. Waiting.
Sorry, I'm doing my own livery now. I've continued on my Volkswagen one.
Oh, the Golf?
Okay.
You still haven't revealed what that's going to be, have you?
No.
I was most intrigued because John and I were talking about this yesterday when we were doing some liveries, and he flicked me a photo of it. And
it's very, very much its starting point.
I know. But the thing was that when you sent it to me, and it's a Mark 1 Golf for anybody out there that knows their Golfs, and I was most surprised that it was actually raced. I didn't know that the Golf Mark 1s were used for racing here in Australia or anywhere for that matter. I would guess maybe in Europe would make more sense. But yeah, I didn't realise that they were used to race here in Australia. So
they weren't mainstream. So basically they raced with what was now the VA supercars, but in the days of, you know, with Moffat and Brock and Johnson and blah 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 and Grice.
Well, you had all the different groups racing together. Yeah.
Where it was, you know,
Not
what
just
was the
one
late
country.
70s. So you know, so it was, you know, Tiranas versus Falcon Coupes and all that sort of stuff. So it was a case of run what you brung, but the car actually raced in the lower engine capacity class, naturally being a 1 point whatever litre.
1.2, 1.4 maybe. I don't know what size engines in those.
I think it was a little bit bigger, but it was under 2 litre.
Yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't have thought it would be bigger than 2 litres
because it was known as the 2 litre beater. That was its slogan. So I think it was 1 point. I think we started at 1.6 and got to 1.9 eventually. Yeah, so it raced up against cars like Peter Williamson's Toyota Celica, which was the dominant car in the class. Raced up against Holden Geminis, or Isuzu Geminis, as they were known back then.
These are also just small 4-cylinder cars for people that don't know Australian cars and might watch this broadcast. That are no longer made, by the way.
No, we make jack shit as far as cars are concerned. We tend to design them more than anything else.
So yeah, and I was sharing a sorry, after you, keep going.
I was going to say, it raced with the engine, because back then the classes were based on engine capacity. So being such a low engine capacity, it raced with the other corresponding cars. So like I said, the Escorts and Geminis, and I think there was a Corolla in there at one stage. It was definitely Celica.
Okay.
There's all sorts of weird, wacky things.
Okay.
Alpha Sud was in
Alpha
there.
Swords, I remember them. I do remember seeing them race, but I don't know why. I just can't remember seeing Golf's race. And of course that led us to yesterday, me telling John a rather crazy story about me in my younger days with a mate of mine named Stuart, still a good friend of mine, who lives up in Noosa, who contacted me one day and said, hey, can you do me a favour, can we swap cars, because I need you to drop my car off to get some things fixed and it's just near your work. And of course, being a good friend, I said of course I can do that, and it looks like my computer's just decided to freeze on me getting into that room, so I had no success either. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to close the application down. That's probably going to end the broadcast, I'm guessing. Or maybe not.